As a civil leader, I am Apostle V.W. Jones, serving to a community of people who have a desire to enhance their existing life through sound knowledge and teaching. As an individual, I am also a father and a mentor, and I'm also a lover of good music. All of those things, I think, make the language of a community into a place where we can call it a village. And when you have a village, we can raise many issues as well as great people for society. So my thoughts. For me, it was interesting. I have been born into what we call Christendom. I left Christendom as a young man wanting to do his own thing. Found that much of what I thought was true was a farce. Not that it was a lie, it's just that everybody didn't believe what they'd proclaimed. I began to then search out different faith systems. Fell in love with another group called NOI, Nation of Islam. And then I left them and found another group called Hinduism. And I was searching for inward truths, and I couldn't find them. I delved into different social plights, such as alcohol and drugs and partying, the whole 9 yards. And always searching for something to fill a void that I knew innately needed something to feed it. And that's when I got back into searching for knowledge. And when I searched for knowledge, I found a place that I've now been able to draw from, a deep well of wisdom. And so that hunger comes from trying to actually make my life something that would mean something in the end. One of the key things is that knowledge is based on proper information. To be fanatical about something is usually a byproduct of being accurate. You can't be fanatical unless you are accurate. And most fanatics end up leaving people in really dire straits. And unfortunately, in a myriad of professions, as we would call them, many people are not accurate. For me, I push for biblical accuracy. That means arduous study. That means taking the time that no one wants to take to search out even simple definitions of a name, etymologies of that name, definitions of a word or a phrase per culture. These are key things. Fanatical? No. A lover of the word? Absolutely. The question causes me a conflict. Based on social standards, I would say I'm pretty patient. Based on biblical define, I have no patience. However, the interesting piece about getting a point across and having charisma means you have a solid conviction. And again, we talk about accuracy of information. Before I speak to the hundreds and thousands and twos and ones, I'm nervous before I even speak to a child in counseling. I'm nervous before I stand before a congregation. The issue is that no one thinks you are because you can just do it or it just comes out of you. Well, the only reason it can come out of you is because you've put it in you 18 to 20 times more than you've actually spoken. One of the old theories that was given to me when I first started in this world that I'm in was that one should listen more than they speak, i.e., 2 ears, 1 mouth. Well, we multiplied that, and my counselor explained to me that the more you listened, the more you would hear, and there is a marked difference in listening and hearing. So you only speak about what you actually heard. Now, when you start talking about those types of things, they're very key to making people understand their own realities, because you get them to slow down and listen. That's, I think, the charismatic part. And once they're listening to where they can hear, they then begin to recite for themselves. And once you start speaking for yourself, you change your own environment. That biblical accuracy and having something that governs your life and knowing it well and using it as a conviction, therefore pushing a movement in your life, changes your life. The only thing that makes change work is you knowing what you're changing. And all you're getting, you gotta get understanding. Once you've got understanding, charisma defines itself. It's been leaked I'm a Republican. And how difficult is it being a Republican and a black Republican at that? Well, it's no different for me than being a Torah observant Christian. Those are very parallel issues. The same reason I am Torah observant as a Christian is the same reason I am a Black Republican. I don't believe that the candidates represent the platform that the Republican Party is based on. We have people that are popping off of the platform who don't actually represent the platform's bottom line. They have private and separate agendas, of which I may not vote for an existing Republican based on their particular platform and the way that they're devising their ticket. However, under the core of why a Republican is a Republican, that's what I believe. Unfortunately, we've not had a Republican that actually stands for the core basis for why the Republican Party actually exists. That's an issue that we will not address here, but it is the issue. And I'm comfortable. The Democratic Party or the Tea parties and all the other associated parties and affiliate parties, I just never bought into their ideology. The Republican Party stands for something, but we don't have candidates representing it presently. I said that out loud, and I stand here and I endorse that message. As a Christian in society, I'm also a Torah observant Christian, meaning that many don't understand that the Bible is a carrier of the word of our God. And those of us who are Christians believe in the God who gave us the person, Jesus the Christ. In Hebrew, we call him Yeshua HaMashiach, and he who hung on that cross. The problem becomes that we have set ourselves in denominational platforms that say, I believe in this, we believe in that. My thing is, I don't really care what you believe. I don't care if you want to be Baptist, Methodist, Wesleyan, Presbyterian, Anglican, Evangelical. I don't care if you want to be Kojic, Church of God by faith. I need you to agree that the Bible is the governance for why we gather in the buildings we call churches, synagogues, and or whatever form of coagulating as people. So what are we there for? Are we there to show off our nice hats? Are we there to show off our nice shouts? Are we there to show off our pontificating skills, our oratorical skills? Or are we there to propagate the true intent of why we actually have what we call salvation, and to help others come into that knowledge who don't know that there's more to being saved than having church? So therefore, you find yourself ostracized because your version of your conviction is going to be based on what you actually know. And most people don't know why they do what they do. My job is to help everyone think about what you're doing. In all of your getting, get understanding. You get a soda, understand it can give you osteoporosis. You get a cigarette, understand it can kill you. You get salvation. You get a church. Understand that there is a governance to it. You get a political agenda. Understand that it will have results or cost you in the end. And all that you get understanding. And when you can take that approach to whether it's faith, politics, baseball team, football team, if you become a quarterback, learn the plays. You become a cornerback, learn the defense. And all you're getting, get understanding. You get a Bible, understand it. That's the core. That's how you actually make a difference in society. Einstein is one of my favorite characters. Einstein said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, it's not that I'm smarter than everybody. I just kept asking questions. And in asking questions, it leaves you to pursue the answers. Unfortunately, many of us stop asking questions, and then we settle for what has been cookie cut and presented as a potential answer. Potential doesn't mean it's the actual. And once you start to actually get the fulfillment of an answer, then you see a difference in who you are and how you interact in your social and or your spiritual spheres. As it relates to getting knowledge and getting understanding, There are often times as a leader, every single year, we run into a problem of understanding how to deal with these holiday seasons, these feelings and these emotions and these issues that develop from the time of Thanksgiving all the way clear up until around Valentine's Day, which is February. I get more calls for spiritual counseling, suicide prevention, depression, based on the reality that these holiday times bring family memories back in such a great, overwhelming way into the minds, into the hearts of people for sentimental value and other reasons. Sometimes we miss someone who's gone on, who's a loved one. Sometimes we are dealing with the fact that we don't know how our lives ended up as it is, and we are connecting with old and new family, and we're seeing and comparing ourselves to what they're doing and how we're doing. And then, as I told you before, usually is a lot to do with loved ones having gone on. Depression hits very hard. Areas where people want to just say, I give up, and I just want to just drop everything I'm doing and no longer care. The holidays, though very cheerful for many, there are a lot of people hiding behind their smiles that are hurting. Well, many of us as leaders in civil, or as civil leaders, we get these calls. We want you to know that there is a way that you can actually beat depression, beat this spirit of heaviness that comes over you in a season where you should be jolly, as they would say in our culture. And that is knowing why and what you're dealing with. In the Word of our God, I call it the Bible, there are answers to every single internal question that you may have. But you need to be around good counselors who can get that information to you. This is what I do. I'm not interested in whether or not we get to talk to millions or thousands. I just want to help those ones and twos who don't know why they feel the way that they feel. They know that there's something more to their life, but sometimes they want to just end it all. I want you to know that there is more about your life continuing than you can even imagine. If there is a way that we can help you or reach out to you, or you feel free to reach out to us, we want you to do that. My name is Apostle V.W. Jones. I'll give you a simple way of reaching me. Just go to Apostle V.W. Jones on Facebook. It's that simple. You reach me there, my staff will contact you back. You don't have to give any information. All you have to do is say, I'm feeling the holiday blues. And we'll make sure that we teach you that there is life yet in you. And only what you do for Messiah is going to last. I'm hoping that this season does not become a depressing season for you, but a season where you can see restoration, liberation, redemption, and all the attributes of freedom to be you in this society.
I'm Shabana Kablal. My husband is Naresh Budu, and together we operate several businesses. The most popular one is probably Soiree Event and Conference Center, which is a banquet facility in West Orlando. We also operate Soiree Events, where we do several major events throughout the year. We have a couple of call centers, and we operate a nonprofit called Care for the Community. And most recently, we just added on a neat new project called the Digital Shark, which is an LED billboard truck.
A day in the life of us varies. It could be very hectic at times, juggling all the businesses, and then it has its quiet moments where, we get to breathe a little bit. Balancing is very important. It's a very fine line. Sometimes it overlaps, but you got to make the time and try to separate work from play and family. So it's constant juggling and multitasking and just dedicating time for each part of your life.
Maintaining a balance between work and home life can be very, very challenging. We have businesses that demand our attention because they are revenue generators, so obviously we have to focus there. Then we also have to balance between our home lives. Sometimes my house looks like a tornado hit it. Sometimes it's tough to cook dinner just because of the lack of time, but we're on this healthy eating kick right now. So we definitely try to do our part and make sure that we cook home cooked meals, which is it's very time consuming. My daughter, she's 8. She's very, very full of energy. She goes to gymnastics and she does violin and a lot of extracurricular activities. But Naresh and I do a good job of separating, and he normally takes her to school one day, I'll pick her up. So we make sure that we make time individually, and we work together. We try to communicate with each other to make it work so it's not that much of a hassle for both of us. We try to separate the duties pretty evenly. I'm really lucky because my husband, he helps me with all the housework. He actually probably does more than I do, so that's a relief for me. There's always days where I want to give up, even up to yesterday. I mean, it's constant. The struggle is definitely constant when you own a business. But at the end of the day, we raise our daughter to make sure she knows that quitting is not the option. So if we were to quit, then what type of example are we setting for our daughter? So we're definitely not quitters. There's definitely challenges that come up every day, things that happen where we question, why are we doing this? Why don't we just move to Jamaica and start over and, do things for ourselves? But we have over 50 employees that depend on us. And we have people in the community that depend on us. And on top of it, the most important thing right now is making sure our daughter, we set a good example for her so she has, good footsteps to follow in.
A lot of mercy. I don't know where to start from. Is there are days when, you do question why you do this, and if you want to continue, but then you have to look back and see there are over 50 employees and a large community that depend on what we do on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. So with that in mind and setting an example for our child and showing there is no quitting, you have to continue, even though there may be bumps in the crossroads. You have to choose and stay on your path and focus and finish what you started. And on a daily basis, we strive for that. We continue to focus, and it crosses our mind all the time, but we definitely love to stay in the community and do what we do best. For the most part, I would say people embrace us. We do stand out in the community. People know us for what we do and what we contribute to society. I'm sure there are different things and different opinions out there, but it really doesn't matter. You just have to look forward and keep it moving. Working with my wife is great. We do have our challenges, but for the most part, I think we work great together. I think we are successful because we stay in our lane. We have our job functions and we stick to that. We don't try to micromanage each other or babysit each other. We know what we have to do and we get it done. It's also fun because we get to challenge each other and make life fun also along with work. She's a Dallas Cowboys, which not very successful this year, but my Big Blue Giants has been on a better winning streak than the Dallas have, and that's something we're proud of.
Working with my husband and being with him is definitely, it's fun. I have a lot of fun. A lot of people think, how do you guys work together? It must be hard, but it's really not, because we stay within our lanes. We do what we're good at, and we know what each other is good at. So Naresh doesn't try to get into the paperwork side of things, the legal side of things. Math is my worst subject, so I have no problem at all letting him do the accounting side of things. As a matter of fact, I have no clue about anything when it comes to money, and I'm okay with that because we know what we're good at. And we respect each other. We respect each other, each other's talents, each other's flaws. We know what we're good at. We know what we're bad at, and we know what each other's good and bad points are as well. So just knowing yourselves, knowing your spouse, knowing what's good and what's bad about them, and kind of embracing that is really, really important. That's definitely helped us in both our business life and our personal life. And just having that understanding between each other that every day is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a bed of roses. But, we just have to keep working at it. Every day is a constant challenge, but at the end of the day, it's laughter, it's fun. We work hard, but we also play hard. We travel a lot, we have a great time, we laugh, which I think is one of the most important things you can do as a husband and wife, especially one that works together, a couple that works together. Both Naresh and I agree that in order to be successful, respect, that's the key. And go Cowboys.